Haroisha Kohen Gadol who Nazir. What if he's a Kohen Gadol, not a regular Kohen? He's the Kohen Gadol, and the Nazir. Nevertheless, Avul Achim Lo Yitame. He may not be Matama, but nevertheless, Av Matama Lo Mitzvah. So clearly, we're using the itemization of these individual Krivim by Nazir to build up the chiyuv of being Matama to Mitzvah, even though you wouldn't be Matama for anything else, but for a Mitzvah, everyone's Matama. Now, our Gemara starts according to the Brisa. So Rashi Lachoisoi Matamat Loimer. Why does the pasuk have to itemize Lachoisoi? Im Eina Inin Lezeh, if you don't need it for Lachoisoi or for the other halachas that we've learned from the other Krivim of the pasuk. No Inin Lemisha Heilich Lishcheres Pischoi. He's going to do the mitzvah of shechting a korban Pesach, which incidentally there's a chiyuv chorus for someone who doesn't bring the korban Pesach, or V'lomen as Benoi, where we know as well there's a chiyuv chorus for someone who doesn't mala. Nevertheless, even that person shematama l'meis mitzvah. So let's see what the Gemara says inside. Toshma v'achoisoi ma'atama loimer hareisha yeholich lishchot es pischoi v'lomel as Benoi. Somebody was going to shech his Pesach or to mal his child, v'shama shemeis lemeis, and he found out that he had a korban who died. One of his Krivim. Yochel Yachsav Yitama, you might think he can go and be Matama to them. Amrit Lo Yitma, you're not allowed to be Matama for him. Yochel Kishem She'ein Matama Lahem, just like he cannot be Matama for them. Kach Ein Matama L'Meis Mitzvah, so too he cannot be Matama to Meis Mitzvah. Tamadol V'Lachoisoi, V'Lachoisoi U'Dein Matama, Av Matama L'Meis Mitzvah, he can be Matama L'Meis Mitzvah. So before we go back, there's a push to the question over here. Here's a man, I'm sorry?
He's a Nazir, what's the Havana? Why just because he's going to korban Pesach when I think he could not be a Krivim?
Well, the Gemara is building up, even though there's all these reasons. He's a Nazir. He's going to bring a korban Pesach. He's going to Malazan. Right, with Kohen Gadol. Even though there's so many reasons why he might.
Well, he can still go, but I'm saying the Gemara adding in the words.
It's all about building up for a Meis Mitzvah. It could be.
Mace, like,
right.
Mace means a korban.
Sorry. Right, the question is, he shouldn't be allowed to be Matama. For a Meis Mitzvah, he could be Matama. Because even though he would not be able to be Matama for another, no matter what, no matter how urgent it is, for a Meis Mitzvah, he could be Matama. The question is, Shama Shemeis Lameis. That means the day that he was going to bring his korban Pesach, he lost somebody. That means he's an Oinen. If he's an Oinen, is he not part of him called mitzvahs? He shouldn't have to bring a korban Pesach. So the Elvin spoke out a huge chiddush that Vibalt tonight, when the Zman Achilas Pesach is, he will no longer be an Oinen. He's not considered an Oinen to pater him for mitzvahs that are going to be today. So even though today he has the mitzvah of the Shechita of the Pesach, but the mitzvah of Achilas tonight, so therefore, as Oinen he wouldn't be pater from Shechita the korban Pesach, because the eating of the korban Pesach is at night. So if you're tired before Pesach, you still have to help your wife clean, since on Pesach you also have to have a clean house.
She's allowed to build a sukkah?
What? What the problem? There's no... Not the Malasan? I'm not sure. I mean, what's the halach if someone becomes an Oinen on the 8th day? It's a very good shaila, but then someone else can know, I guess. That's the question. You can't, so you call off the bris. That's just not.
He's right.
Okay, so so what do we have over here? We're saying that you could be Matama Meis Mitzvah. So I'll cover Abrius to take care of the Meis Mitzvah. Rashi says cover Abrius for Deichad Vartoyer. You are Matama to the Meis Mitzvah. Why do we allow someone to be Matama to a Meis Mitzvah? Mai Lemein Chachma Ben Tvuna Ben Etzel Regel Hashem. Ignore the Meis Mitzvah. Again, there's a pasuk that specifically tells you that you're supposed to be Matama to the Meis Mitzvah. So why don't we use Lachoisai as a binyan to teach us that everywhere in the Torah you'll be doichet because of Kavod Abrius. There we're telling him not to do something. You tell someone not to do something, that you'll do for Kavod Abrius, but you will not allow someone to be over something for Kavod Abrius. So let's see Rashi for clarification. I'm sorry?
It's not a sheikh al-tas, he's going to do the Meis Mitzvah.
So let's see Rashi. Okay, good question. So Sheval Tasa Shani. Dvorim Rabim, Hitiru Lakor Devar Torah. Many things the Rabbanan allowed us to be Oker Devar Torah, Mepnei Siog, as a guard, Mepnei Kvod Abrius. When Heicha De'enei Oker Dover B'Maisi Yadayim. That's when you're not being Oker something by positively doing something. El Yosef B'Mkoimoi, you're just not doing anything. V'Dover Torah Neker Me'elov. For instance, if they tell you on Shabbos don't blow shofar, you're not actively doing an avera. You're refraining from doing the mitzvah. The lulav b'Shabbos, right? Either shofar b'Shabbos or lulav b'Shabbos, or certain b'tzitzis if you're not putting tzitzis on. Or cheduv tuva b'yavamas. Aval ma'akar b'yadayim, Chazal will never tell you to get up and do an action to be over a lav. And if you're putting on climb, if you're putting on shatnez, you're actively being oikra mitzvah in the Torah. So now the Gemara asks, now Rashi asks Shlomi's kasha, the Thomas Gufei, Shahutra Lakoin V'Nozer Litama Lemeis Mitzvah, the Kama Akar B'Yadayim, right, that was your kasha. There I am actively being oikra a mitzvah. The lav sheval tasahu. So Rashi hainu time the loiga mina mine. The reason why that's not a limud from there l'cholat harakula that for kover abrius you should be oiker a lav is the hasam lav mishum kover abrius who the dochi loisa sedida. It's not kover abrius that matters someone to be metamet or meis mitzvah. Rather, we're saying the lav doesn't apply in those circumstances. It's not that the law applies everywhere, and Chazal say go be oiker because of kover abrius. Chazal is telling us if you read the pasuk, you learn that the law doesn't apply there. To be koker shenechtav loisa said the Tumah loy al meis mitzvah nichtav. It was never referring to the meis mitzvah. Kishem shaloi nichtav ala koivim, just like it wasn't written for koivim. Aval Shabbos Aveda uPesach l'chol Yisrael namar. The mitzvah of Shabbos Aveda and the mitzvah of Korban Pesach is given over to everybody. And because of Kover Abrios, we allowed someone to be doichet, the says to be metamet or mitzvah, and not do Korban Pesach. Al kochach hainu de dechiyoson eno biyadayim el b'yishivosoi titcha mitzvah. Again, he's not being doichet with Pesach biyadayim. He's not going to bring the Korban Pesach. Of a klayim, the b'maisa yodov yitcha, there hijra b'azarosoi, there you can't be matir. Tosfos doesn't like this because Tosfos asks every mitzvah I could say the Torah didn't mean it in that case. That's what Tosfos asks. So let's just see Tosfos how he approaches this.
You don't have it in Shabbos. That's the problem.
No, Tosfos is asking. What's by the Kohen we're saying the mitzvah doesn't apply, but here it does apply. But the Torah never gave a leisha for a Kohen to be metama by Kover Abrius. That's what Rashi says. That's what's not calling oiker. Tosfos says you can say it everywhere.
Well, so you need a story for it, like for Kalvin.
Oh, okay. So I guess Tosfos doesn't like that Torah. That's a good point. I'll tell him sorry anyway. Right? You're saying good. So let's see what Tosfos says. Shabbos Tassim and Payment for Tosfos. Nozer Chaim Gadol. The same kasha that Rashi asked. Kuma Sehu the Yitmer Ameis. We're telling him to actively get up and be over a lav and be metamet Ameis. The Tirch Rashi the Krog Goli Lon the lav. The lo yitma lo nemer gab meis mitzvah. The Torah is teaching us that this lav was never said referring to a meis mitzvah. I don't like this pshat. Every time we learn in the Torah that on the says likri sheval tasa. It's why we say it's sheval tasa. Why is it ever called tchiyah? Ema she'enu tchiyah. Rather the hasam lo nemer halav. Another question I have to Tosfos. The Mila v'Tamid de Pesach, the Dachu Shabbos, Mila Tamid Pesach Dachu Shabbos, Kedamina bePerk El Dvarim, Amal Mikri Shabbos Tchiyah. You see, it is a Tchiyah. Elanira de Minozer leGamina. The reason why you don't learn from Nozer is the Mal the Nozer Sheken Yeshne b'Sheila. The reason why, in fact, when Nozer is being doiche, the Torah teaches us that the mitzvah of mitzvah is doiche Nazirs, but you can't prove from there l'cholot harakula because Nazir has a kula yeshna b'sheila, and you can't bring a right from a kohen where a meis mitzvah is doicha the lav of a kohen not being tamei, because you ask mal a kohen she can lav she'ein shava b'koil. The lav that a kohen has is not a lav that applies across the board. It only applies to kohanim, and that would not be able to teach us about other lav. You can Nazir's comes by you accepting it upon yourself. So you can go to a Rav and you can say, I didn't want. You can be shown on your nether. It's like any other nether. So since you can get out of it, you can't bring a raya to other lav that you can't get out of. There's no shayla on other lav. Okay, so the Heilige more weiter. Omar Papa Abaye. Rabbi asked Abaye a good trial. My shna rishonim. Why is it that in the good old days, this Brachos lo nisa, they had nisim, they lived with nisim. It was a commonplace for them. Umay shna nan, and what about us? The lemish Brachos lo nisa. We don't seem to have nisim. We have v'zeis apecha. Imishim tnuye. If you want to suggest that they were bigger Talmidei Chachamim in those days, and there was the Schus HaTorah that got them, the nisim were actually much bigger Talmidei Chachamim than they were in those days. B'sheni Rav Yehuda, kulu tnuye b'nezukin hava. All they knew were nezikin, and Rashi tells us it was referring to the three babas that were bekim and nezikin. But that's it. V'anan kamasninan shisa sidri. Yet we are bekim in all 6 of them. We're daf Yomi. We learn everything. They only learn nezikin. The first speak out. What's the matter of nezikin? It says, "Hi man, the Meilish Chassid. If you want to be a person who's a chassid, you should learn more than nezikin, because they were makbid on bein adam lechaveri, and if you're makbid on bein adam lechaveri, that makes you holy." Vanan kamastin shishigir. We're bigger than the Chachamim. We learn all 6 of them, and not only that. We have a Mati Rabbi Yehuda from the Friedrich Ador, who had nisim, who experienced nisim, when he learned uksim. And what was the mission in uksim that he learned? Ukit is like a stem. The halacha is, an olive is a peri. It's a meichel, it should be mitama tumas eichel. But a leaf is not a meichel. So a leaf shouldn't be mitama tumas eichel. However, what they used to do is, to handle the olives, they used to leave the leaves on, and the stems on, so it's easier to carry the leaves by grabbing, it's easier to carry the olives, to transport olives, by grabbing them by the leaf. The leaves are strong, heavy leaves, and you can hold the olives by grabbing on to the leaves and the stems. So because of that, there's a halacha that there's a yad leperi. Any meichel that you hold it with something, the thing that you hold it with will transmit tumah to it and transmit tumah out of it. So if I'm tamei and I don't touch the olive, I merely touch the stem or the leaf that I hold the olive with, I will be matama the olive. The tumah will go through that stem into the olive. But that's only while I can use that stem to hold it. If that stem becomes soft and mushy, and if I lift it up, the olive is not going to come with it, then it's no longer a handle. So that's what the Gemara says there. That's what the Brachos says there. A woman who is soaking a vegetable in a pot, olives that were being soaked together with their leaves, to hayim their tar. Why? Because the leaves are mushy, Rashi says, and they no longer act as a yad. So this was the halacha. And when Rabbi Yehuda was learning this, Rabbi Yehuda said, this is such a difficult Mishnah, and I don't have super clarity in the Mishnah. Havayis to Rabbi Shmuel Kachazina. Rav and Shmuel had so many shilas all over Shas about different things. That's the amount of shilas and sveikas I have in understanding this brisa. So it's funny, I learned it just now. It is pretty simple. It shows how well you have to know something to have shilas, right? V'anan, nevertheless, us kamasninin b'oksin kleiser misifta. So to show you what that means, if we have 13 yeshivas, is one shot. We have 13 yeshivas that are learning uksin, or it could be we have 13 different mahalchim in how to learn it. But the point was, we know it well, we have it down pat, yet Rabbi Yehuda himself said that he was mesupik. Nevertheless, Vini Rabbi Yehuda, if Rabbi Yehuda wanted to ask for rain, or he had a tzod, he had to be pay race. So the first thing they did was they made a gesture of inui by taking off their shoes we on Yom Kippur we take off our shoes when we daven, right? It's one of the Chamisha Nuyim. He lost a sandal. When Rabbi Yehuda just took off one shoe from his foot, he had a show of Chad Masani Asimitra. Bang! It started to rain. Vanan Kamatarina Avshon Mitzabak of Stochinon. We daven and we cry and we fast. The last of Mishklabon. It's not helping. Dias nach chickens, ich hab nach skills. We're working, but it's not happening. Yet we're beginning to tell me how is that possible? He told him, Kamoi have a Mosrin of shiur HaKadoshas Hashem. The Friedrich Ador would be Mosher Nefesh for Kadoshas Hashem, and then us on the other hand, Loi Masrin Nefesh Kadoshas Hashem. We don't take bold steps to be Mosher Nefesh for Kadoshas Hashem. And I'm going to give you an example of this Maisa. It's one of my favorite stories. Rabbi Adam Bar Ava, Chazya Lahi Kutis, he saw a Kutis, a non-Jewish woman, that was Levisha Kabalto. She was wearing a beged that would not have been appropriate for a Jewish woman to wear. One pshat of Rashi is because it was shatnez. Another pshat was that maybe it wasn't sneezestik. Sobar the Bas Yisraeli. I think I skipped the word. That was Levisha Kabalto Beshuka. Sobar, he thought the Bas Yisraeli. He thought it was a Bas Yisrael, and it was inappropriate for her to be wearing that. He walked over to her, he ripped the dress right off in public. To be meicha, how you talking to me? Or such a thing, or maybe it was shatnez. Igorei Mills of the Kutasi, after the police came and arrested him, and asked him, why did you do that? It came out that this wasn't even a Jewish woman. So he said, oh, or oops. It was a major oops. But he took that chance because he was Moshe Nefesh for Kvod Shemayim. He got out of a jail sentence, but they did assess him that he had to pay 400 zuzim. 400 zuz is a very significant amount of money. Not only significant in the fact that it costs a lot of money, but it's also a significant number symbolically. On the way, and we'll get to that in a second.
400 is a classical exaggeration
that's used when we're talking about large amounts. That's what I'm referring to. That's what I'm referring to. I'm going to get to in a second. On the way, Ma Shimcha, she asked her, what's her name? On the way, she told him, my name is Mossen. On the way, told her, oh, Mossen, using a play on words, that Mossen is 200 zuz. Oh, Mossen, Abba Meir Zuzah Shafir. It's like Benjamin, it's all about the Benjamins. Right? You cost me a couple of Benjamins over here. So you cost me that money. That's one shot. That was Mossen, patience. Had I had a little bit of patience and first found out that she was Jewish, even the Lubavitchers asked people if they're Jewish before they put them on film. So he was like a Lubavitcher. He was trying to help her avoid the avera of shatnez. So he should have asked first, are you Jewish? So he said, if I had a little bit of patience, I could have saved myself 400 zuz. So talking about 400 zuz, Mossen is also Begematria Malchus. I didn't add it up, but it's also Begematria Malchus, and to be.
Can I change the words that in a tone of charoto?
I believe so. But there's other twists on it. Like Mossen is Begematria Malchus. So some of us will learn for Malchus Shemayim you pay 400 zuz, no problem.
Well, so he's not regretting it. Really.
That's right. You have to do what you have to do. And the other thing he spoke out is Avram Avinu also, by asking Avram Baker to speak to the Bnei Ches, and when you do a business deal in a rush, it costs you big money. It also costs him Arba Meir Shekel Kesef. Right? So 400 Jews is associated with someone making a deal in haste. Rav Gidel.
It was like the equivalent of saying like $1 million, so they
That's right.
400.
That was there. Yeah. Rav Gidel have a ruggle that also the Yossi Feintuch tefillah. This also, if you try this yourself, you're probably going to get arrested. Rav Gidel have a ruggle that also the Yossi Feintuch tefillah. He would sit right by the entrance of the ladies' mikveh. Amalu, and he see people going to the mikveh, and he would say, Hachik Tevilu. He would make sure to review with the people the halachas of tefillah to make sure that everything was being done 100% k'halacha. Amalei Rabbanan, the Rabbanan told them
There was no lady inside? Is that what happened? There was no lady who used to check?
there's no mikveh lady. Well, he didn't check. He just reminded them the halachas. He just reminded them of the halachas. So they told him, like a mitzvah mar yetzer hara. Are you not afraid of the yetzer hara? So Amalei told him back, me, first, tell me in Ba'apoi ki kakech shiur. They look like kachkas to me. First, I put kachkas to Gulish from here. They talk about myself with a Chassidish Bucher. He was like completely shielded and shaded, and his father once took him out on the street, and he saw things that he liked. So he said, "Tat ich will a pull for this. What's it this? To go to kachke. Ich will have kachkes." I'm going to break ki kakech shiur. So Rabbi Yochanan have a regel to have a ka'azol v'yosef ashar in tefillah. Rabbi Yochanan, we know, was very, very good looking, and he used to sit by the gate of the tefillah. Omar kisokan b'nois Yisrael the asyan mitfilah, just like by Yaakov Avinu, when he wanted to impact what the sheep would look like, he made sure that by conception they were looking at the sticks that had the different stripes on them, because that has an impact. What a person is thinking has an impact in the child that they're going to conceive. So therefore he wanted that Mistakal Vida look at him, and he's very good looking. Zara the Shapiri Kavasi. He wanted them to have very nice looking children. Amalei Rabbanan, the Rabbanan told him, like a mistafi mar me'ena bisha, are you not afraid of an ayin hara? Amalei, he said, Anam Zara the Yosef Krasina Tleshota be'ena bisha. We don't have ayin hara. D'chsev bein Perish Yosef, bein Perish alei ayin, ve'amar bavo al trikri alei ayin, ela oilei ayin, we are triumphant over ayin hara. Rashi's Meshulokim in ayin, sheinu shalotas pen, we're not susceptible to problems of ayin hara. Rabbi Yosef Chnina Mehacha v'yidgu aroi b'kerev haaretz will be plentiful like fish. Ma'adogim shebiyam mayim mechasam alein. They're covered, they're concealed by the water. V'in ayin hara shalotas pen, and that's why there's no ayin hara shalot on fish. Avzar Shal Yosef ein ayin hara shalotas pen. V'bayisema ayin shalorot zalozon mimasha ein shaloi ein ayin hara shalotas pen. Since Yosef HaTzadik did not allow his eye to benefit from something that wasn't his, the ayin hara is not shoyled on him. There's a whole bunch of interesting things over here that we have to look at. The first thing is, they asked Rav Gidol why he's not worried about yetzer hara. They didn't ask him why he's not worried about an ayin hara. And Rabbi Yochanan asked him about ayin hara, but they didn't ask him why he's not worried about yetzer hara. So let's just see the Bach. The Bach has something. You mean the ayin hara for Rabbi Yochanan would be that if people look at him and they're good looking, you might be an ayin hara to him. Maybe Rav Gidol wasn't good looking, you mean?
I mean, what's he doing? He wasn't doing it for that. He was doing it to teach the halacha.
I hear. That's a good point. That's a good point. But let's see what the Bach says. The Bach in Aleph, like a mitzvah mar yetzer nun base. Ha, the amru lay me'ena bisha. Why didn't they suggest ayin hara kidamrin gabi Rabbi Yochanan? Hayim shul Rabbi Yochanan have a mistakle bei v'shach bei bisha. It's because they were looking at Rabbi Yochanan. Or have a mistakle bei means they were looking at him, right? They were looking at him. If they're looking at him, they can be ayin hara. Who said they were even looking at Rabbi Gidol? They were ignoring him. They were just listening to him. Why didn't they ask Rabbi Yochanan? His eyelids or his eyelashes, or eyelashes or eyelids. I think it means his eyelashes covered his eyes. He couldn't see. So they saw him, but he couldn't see them. Doesn't touch Avapov? Doesn't touch Avapov. His eyes covered, so he couldn't see, so therefore there was no problem of yetzer hara for Rabbi Yochanan. The other people say that Rabbi Yochanan sat further away from the mikveh. Gidol sat right near the mikveh because he wanted to teach them the halachas right before they went to the mikveh. Rabbi Yochanan sat further away, so it wasn't. I guess it wasn't so concentrated there.
How can you see his good looks if he's got eyes?
I was wondering the same thing. I was wondering.
Or over his whole face.
I was wondering the same thing. Could be everything else about him was very good looking. Maybe he was very muscular.
I think the idea is that
That was the first case.
But
Wasn't
they
he
see him in general everyone knew maybe
No,
what
it's
it
Rabbi Yochanan.
looked like.
They didn't ask Rabbi Yochanan about Yitzhak because Rabbi Yochanan was unable to see because his eyelashes covered his eyes. So for David, someone whose eyelashes covered his eyes, not that we're looking at
his
his
actual face.
I don't know the answer to that.
Physical status,
Physical system, no, I think that's good looking.
That's the story.
take a picture.
The other thing is, some of us should bring down that the reason why Rav Gidel sat so close to the base tefillah is because when people are in the base tefillah, they're uncovered. So Mamela, they can't make the bracha. So he knew they would make the bracha before they got into the base tefillah, and outside the mikveh there's nobody to say amen. So he wanted to be there to answer amen to their brachas. That's another pshat that he brought on to the Rishonim. So when it comes to ayin hara, don't try this one, you might get arrested. That's right. So we haven't spoken a story from the Bab Veruv. Somebody was just finished a beautiful palace that he built in Borough Park, and he invited the Bab Veruv to hang up the mezuzah. So when the Bab Veruv was by him, he told the Bab Veruv, "What should I do that I should avoid ayin hara?" So the Bab Veruv could have told him, "You should have asked me that question before you built the house." But as Mahal Chen do, he said, "You don't have to worry, because it says that ayin hara, our Gemara tells us that ayin hara is not shown on Yosef. So if you'll constantly be moisef on your ruchnius, and you're constantly working on yourself to steig and to be more erich, that will protect you from an ayin hara." The Satan Rebbe would have said that. Yeah, the Satan Rebbe would have said it. Sorry. So Rabbi Elvin also spoke out a story about the Satan Rebbe, the day ayin hara, and as I'm talking to you, I'm trying to scratch my memory to remember it. I only heard it 15 minutes ago, but I can't remember it. He had a very beautiful story also with the Satan Rebbe about ayin hara. Zot Gemara, Noshim v'avodim uktanim petur mikrishma. Noshim are peturim from krishma. Avodim are peturim from krishma. Ketanim are peturim from krishma. We can't turn over yet. There's a lot of right on this right away because we're equating Noshim and Avodim with Ketanim. So let's see what Rashi says. We know Noshim and Avodim are potter because it's a mitzvah says Shazman Groma. Krishma has to be said at a specific time. Why are Ketanim potter? Zot Rashi, afilu katan she'yagil lechinuch, even a katan who's of age, lo yitilu al oviv l'chanchoy b'krishma. A father does not have to be mechanech a child with krishma. L'vishe'enu matzoi tomid kishamegi zman krishma. Because the child might not always be near the father when it's time to say krishma. So because of that, there's no mitzvah of chinuch on it. Tosfos does not like this pshat at all. So let's just see Tosfos quickly. Uktanim b'tormi krishma, pirish hakontris, katan shegil lechinuch. V'loi nehira. I don't agree with that. Ba'aperek lu ba'gazel aminan, katan ha'yodeh lishmar tefillin. Any katan who will be able to take care of his tefillin properly, aviv chayiv liknosh like tefillin. Alma, you see clearly from here, kishegil lechinuch, the shaykh yibei tefillin. Once he's at the age of chinuch, chayiv b'tefillin. With a krishmanami yesh lechayv yoser mistama. Surely you should be mechayiv him for krishma once he's a gil chinuch. Mida ashkan hasam katan hayedei l'daber, a katan who can even speak, who's even younger than the gil chinuch, aviv miram de Torah. Upasuk v'shishah krishma, and the first person of a krishma. So Torah doesn't like that there's no mitzvah chinuch to teach your child to say krishma. The mari b'katan shaloi gil chinuch. It's speaking about a katan who is loy gil chinuch. Umiu. However, when we turn over the page in a second, the second half of the Mishnah says, Sefer the Ketani, the Chayavim b'tfilah, the Chayav on tfilah, Haya ri ratzaloymar, the mari b'katan shegil chinuch. The second half of the Mishnah would have to be speaking about a katan shegil chinuch, because it's not mistaber to say that the father has to teach his child to daven before he's a gil chinuch. So now we created the difference. We're saying that the Dasham Avodim are potter b'chol from Krishma, yet we're saying that Ketanim einam turn ala b'shalei gilachinach. Then we go to Tefillah. So the psak of Noshim and Avodim is not parallel to the psak of Ketanim. So he maintains that it's speaking by a katan shaloi gilachinach. So he argues in Rashi V'chayav the Sefer, and that's what it says, it's chayiv b'tefillah in the Sefer, kol ha'noshim v'avodim l'chud. The second half of the Mishnah is only referring to noshim and avodim. So in order to learn that the Reisha is speaking by a cotton sheet, it's going to be a little bit difficult to understand the Sefer of the Mishnah.
Don't we have a general rule of thumb when it says cotton is this? We always have to diag now whenever it says cotton what it means.
I guess so, because that's exactly what Rashi and Tosh are doing. Okay. Rashi and Tosh are arguing here what it means.
It says cotton 100 times, different Mishnahs, right? So every time.
I guess they'd have to explain. So Zok the Heilige Mishnah. Nashim Avodim K'tanim Turmin Krishma. According to Rashi, it's even a Gil Chinuch. According to Tosfos, it's only if it was Lo Gil Chinuch. Uminat Tefillah and from Tefillah. V'chayavim Minat Tefillah and from Tefillah. But v'chayavim B'Tefillah, a cotton is chayiv in Tefillah. V'mezuzah v'Birchas Hamazon. So according to Rashi, cotton is chayiv in Tefillah. We're speaking about a Gil Chinuch. According to Tosfos, when it says chayav mitfilah, it's not referring to a cotton, it's only referring to noshim and avodim, because according to Tosfos, we were talking about a cotton shaloi gil lechinuch, and therefore such a cotton will be part of mitfilah. Zotam krishma pshita. It's pashut that noshim and avodim are part of krishma, because it's a mitzvah says Eishes man grama. We had the whole first parak discussing the timing. So tomorrow, so pshita mitzvah says Eishes man grama, v'chol mitzvah says Eishes man grama noshim p'turis. So tomorrow, no, we still need the Mishnah to tell us the Chiddush. Since Krishma is Malchus Shemayim, maybe they mandated to say Tefillin anyway, to say Krishma anyway. I apologize. Maybe since Krishma has Oil Malchus Shemayim, there'd be a chiyuv on women because Oil Malchus Shemayim is very negay for everybody. Kamash Ron, it's a mitzvah to say Shozman Grama, Noshim Arpturim. Uminat Tefillin. Pshita, again, it's a mitzvah to say Shozman Grama. So tomorrow, since it's Ishkush L'Mezuzah, and we know women are chayiv in mezuzah, so they should also be chayiv in tefillin. Kamash Malon. Rashi tells us where is mezuzah and tefillin iskish. So Rashi tells us it says ukshavtim, which we say in Kriyas Shema. V'chayav mitfilah. Women are chayiv in tefillah. So tomorrow the rachaminu. That's something that everybody needs. Anybody needs to dive into the British Shalom. So therefore, the women are chayiv. Ma'adatim, you might think, since it says regarding tefillah erev v'vekah v'tzaroyim, and it says that in the pasuk erev v'vekah v'tzaroyim, asicha b'emer v'yish makoli. So tefillah. So you might take a mitzvah hasei shazman grama dami. It's like a mitzvah hasei shazman grama, and maybe you would think that a woman should be part of her kamash malon. A woman is chayiv in mezuzah. Pshita. Ma'adatim ha'oyev iskish l'talmud Torah. Since mezuzah is hukash l'talmud Torah, and a woman is part of Talmud Torah, therefore a woman would be part of mezuzah. Kamash l'netana, that a woman is chayiv in mezuzah. Rashi tells us where is a mezuzah ishkush l'talmud Torah in the Krishma again with the Malta Moshe Mispanechem, and right after that it says uchsaftem. Zoktim Gemara weiter over Birchas Hamazon. A woman is chayiv in Birchas Hamazon. Pshita, why shouldn't she be chayiv in Birchas Hamazon? Ma'adu tema hoyluk siv bei. Hoyluk siv. It says regarding Birchas Hamazon, b'seis Hashem lochem ba'er basar lecho, v'lechem ba'boker. So it should be v'lechem ba'boker l'seva. You might think a mitzvah hasei shazman grama dami. It's like a mitzvah hasei shazman grama. Kamash malon that it's chayiv.
Just ask a question on if they're patur from Kriyas Shema, why wouldn't they be patur of everything that's already written in Kriyas Shema?
They're part of I'm saying Kriyas doesn't mean they're part of mitzvahs.
No, but what does it say in there? It says about tefillin, and it says about learning Torah, and it says about mezuzah.
Right.
So
they're part of from learning Torah. So ask better. Women are part of from learning Torah, so they should be part of all the mitzvahs.
I hear it.
They're taught to read it. It doesn't mean they're part of a mitzvah.
Why don't we argue that they're putter from the Zman? They're not putter from saying it. You can say it all day.
That's, I guess, my question. Thank you.
Right? You would think that would be a chiyuv. Okay, they can't say it in the time when.
And I'm a chiyuv to say it in the Zman Kriyas Shema.
So that's not.
But be the pater, the whole idea of
That's a good heart. It's a very good heart. But the mitzvah of Krishma is dictated in Torah is at certain times. That mitzvah they're part from. Do they have a mitzvah in general to be kabel or shemayim?
It's a nice thing to do.
I think those are drushes when the timing is.
But l'maisa, that's how you pass.
When you wake up and when you go to sleep. ideally. But if you can't do that, you shouldn't be Mcgillvray.
Well, the Mishnah says it's no worse than learning Torah, right? The Mishnah says that if you say Krishma after the man, it's no different than Torah. So you're saying there should be another mitzvah of kabbalas or Shemayim that women should have all the time.
If you can't do it,
But it was mostly for the
so,
men, and the women ended up
do it when
answering.
it's not,
Right?
prescribed or
No,
recommended.
I hear it, but I guess when it comes to defining mitzvahs, it's very technical in nature. You're saying, don't make it so technical. Be makabel or mach shemayim whenever you wake up.
Don't make it so technical.
So Yossi, he's right because
A woman should be more.
That's right. Oh,
He did it by the same Mashas.
I'm sorry?
He did it by the same Mashas at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, kabbalas on Shemayim.
It wasn't from
That's
stickers
right.
for them.
That's right. So let's go more back here. Women are chayiv in Kiddush Dvar Torah. Yeah, Kiddush is universal. That's already goes back. Kiddush goes to the Yesodis of Yiddishkeit. How could you say?
There's no Zman Grumma.
That's right. Kiddush can be done from before learning, after learning. No, so you have a clear eye from here. You remember from the first eye from here that Kiddush is even in the middle of learning because it's not otherwise it's man grammar. Developing. I mitzvah says it's man grammar who. The mitzvah says it's man grammar noshim b'turis. Baye midrabanan. Women are only chayiv in Kiddush midrabanan. I don't understand. You just said a second ago. Noshim chayavas b'kiddush yom v'atayah. V'atayah ka'amar. So how could you now say that it only means midrabanan? V'oid. Kol mitzvah say, once you're saying that a woman is chayiv in Kiddush midrabanan, so let's be mechayiv her in all mitzvahs say says man grama midrabanan. When it talks about the chiyuvim of Shabbos, it says zocher referring to Rasei and Shomer is referring to the Rosh says. And we learn kol sheyeshna b'shmir yeshna b'schira. Any person who must be Shomer Shabbos and may not do the melachos of Shabbos also have the chiyuv of Kiddush. V'haninashi and women however istu b'shmir. Since they do have the isurim of the Sasa Malacha, istu b'zechira. She should have a chiyuv to have Kiddush as well. Okay, period. So therefore we're chayiv. Noshim b'brachos and the Raisa of the Rabbanon. They're starting to daven in 1 minute. And this whole sugya here is a machlokes Rashi and Tosfos, so I think we should leave it for tomorrow.